And a very warm welcome. You are listening to Thelma FM, happily and proudly broadcasting from Edinburgh here in Scotland. This is Forgotten Songs from the Broom Cupboard. I'd like to start with a song that is pretty lively, and I think this fits the bill. It is Mountain Greenery by Mel Torme.
On the 1st of May, it is moving day. Spring is here, so blow your job, throw your job away. Now's the time to trust to your wanderlust. In the city's dust you wait. Must you wait? Just you wait. In a mountain greenery where God paints the scenery, just two crazy people together. While you love your lover, let blue skies be your coverlet. When it rains, we'll laugh at the weather. And if you're good, I'll search for wood so you can cook. While I stand looking, beans could get no keener reception in a beanery. Bless our mountain greenery home. Simple cooking means more than French cuisines. I've a banquet planned which is sandwiches and beans. Coffee's just as grand with a little sand. Eat and you'll grow fatter, boy, smatter, boy. Attaboy. In a mountain greenery where God paints the scenery, just two crazy people together. Ha 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 ha, we love sequestering where no pests are pestering. No dear mama holds us in tether. Mosquitoes here won't bite you, dear. I let them sting me on the finger. Beans could get no keen reception in the beanery. Bless our mountain greenery, far from life's machinery. Bless our mountain greenery home. Mountain greenery.
Oh yeah, I think that's a good start to this episode of Forgotten Songs from the Broom Cupboard. That was Mel Torme with Mountain Greenery. Mel, obviously a singer, but also an arranger, a composer, a drummer, and even an author. And those songs that he composed, the most famous is the Christmas song. I didn't know what the Christmas song was either. It's in fact chestnuts roasting over an open fire. Yes, that was his song. Well, his music, certainly. You are listening to Thelma FM, and Forgotten Songs is a trawl through our collection of records. That could be vinyl, that could be 45s, 33s, but today it's all 78s. And up next is a slightly different, in terms of the actual record itself, something a little rarer because it actually is a vinyl, not shellac, 78, and this is Lonnie Donegan.
Make it on the side of the road. If I had known my captain was blind, wouldn't have come to work, boys. The clock struck 9. I'm gonna roll in a hurry, 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 to make it on the side of the road. Pork and beans, pork and beans. Would I had more? If I had known my captain was bad, I wouldn't have sold that special gun that I once have had. Ooh, well, I'm gonna roll in a hurry, 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 to make it on the side of the road. Ham and egg, pork and beans. Would have had more, but the cook was so mean. Oh, me. I'm gonna roll in a hurry, hurry, hurry. Oh, to make it on the side of the road. Make him down the chimney. La-da-dee-dee-da.
It's important to get that last note in, isn't it? That Lonnie Donegan, and that was actually Ham and Eggs, and that was on a Nixer vinyl 78. Lonnie Donegan, of course, famous for a skiffle group. A lot of his records, I don't think they're skiffle, really. They're kind of more like blues, I would say. And you can see why he was very influential to people like the Beatles, Paul McCartney, Mark Knopfler. Even find his ability to also find American music and make it their own was obviously an influence to subsequent British artists. Right, we're getting a bit older now. Those are both from the late 50s. We've now got Leake County Revelers, and this is really stripped back country. This is Friday. Hang on, let's have a look here. Good Night Waltz. Don't know why I said Friday, but there we are, from 1927. And the Revelers, Leake County Revelers, were Mississippi-based band, and I would imagine you can imagine them playing the dance halls around that area. And as I say, this is old style country. that was pretty straightforward and simple stuff, wasn't it? You can just imagine that was Good Night Waltz. You could imagine that being played, as I say, in all these dance halls in these small towns around the southern states there. Now, the Leake County Revelers went from 1926 to 1931. Principal person of it was fiddler Will Gilmer. And also R.O. Mosley on mandolin. Now, they are very kind of localised, even though this is a Columbia record, and they made a few recordings. We go next to Joe and Bud Billings, who actually may sound like brothers, but actually it was... Joe was actually Carson Robinson, who was an artist in his own right, and Bud Billings was in fact born Frank Luther Frank Luther Crow. I'm mixing my words up today. But let's have a listen to this, because these weren't really localised country. But we'll tell you more about that once we've heard from them.
The friends that I knew and gave up for you turn away while they're passing me by. They all seem to know that I'm missing you so. I can't hide the truth, though I try. I'm alone because I love you with all my heart. I'm alone because I had to be true. Sorry I can't say the same about you. Yesterday's kisses are bringing me pain. Yesterday's sunshine has turned into rain. I'm alone because I love you with all my heart. The long night it seems you're with me in dreams, and you're mine till the breaking of dawn. It's then I awake and my heart seems to ache, for I realize that you're gone. Yesterday's kisses are bringing me pain. Yesterday's sunshine has turned into rain. I'm alone because I love you with all my heart. I'm alone because I had to be true. Sorry I can't say the same about you. I'm alone because I love you with all my heart.
Joe and Bud Billings there, and that was, I'm looking at my hastily drawn list here because I'm not a man of extreme tidiness. And that I'm going to get the record itself, actually, rather than try and look through my scrawl of writing. It is, in fact, I'm Alone Because I Love You, which sounds slightly pathetic, doesn't it? Now, as I was saying, far from being local country, Joe and Bud Billings did quite a few records with the two of them, and that was from 1930. And as I say, they were Bud, who was Frank Luther, and Joe was actually Carson Robinson. Now, Francis Luther Crowe, as he was born, took to music at the age of 6 and became a minister, church minister, at the age of 22. And then he joined the Revelers, not the ones we've just played, but another band. And shortly afterwards, that was in 1927, he toured the UK. And he produced many of the early popular country hits. Luther's wife was Zona Lehman, and she was the first woman country singer to have a major hit, and that was quite a well-known song, 7 Years with the Wrong Man. He went on to record a lot of children's songs, and post-World War II he became executive for Decca Records. Carson Robinson there, who's billed as Joe, he was a whistler and singer. And one of the first promoters of country music and well-known composer of event songs such as Pearl Harbor and the Scopes Monkey Trial. And again, he, early promoter of country, he actually toured the UK in 1932, 1936 and 1938. Right, let's get on to our oldest record of the day. This is on the Victor record label. It's the Six Brown Brothers, and it's the wonderfully titled When Aunt Dinah's Daughter Hannah Bangs on That Piano. Let's have a listen. It's going to be a bit distant, I think, but then it's entitled it's 101 years old, remember. wasn't bad, really, was it, considering its age? That was the Six Brown Brothers, who were in fact all white, although one of them did tend to blackface, as was the fashion of the day. The other five would white up, if you like, by dressing as clowns. How times change. A lovely Victor, lovely thick record on the Victor label, as I say. A change here. These are all records that we have got from our own collection, and we are Thelma FM, and this is Forgotten Songs from the Broom Cupboard. Thelma FM is the broadcasting arm of the Living Memory Association, and we are based here at Ocean Terminal Shopping Centre, where we have a hands-on museum called the Little Shop of Memory, and we operate in a studio at the back of there. You can come and visit us if you're in the area. We're open 10:30 till 4 weekdays and 11 a.m. to 4 at weekends, and it really is a hands-on museum. Thousands of objects. You can pick them up, look at them, feel them, smell them, whatever you want to do with them, as long as you put them back at the end of the day. As I say, we've got a bit of a change of pace here, and this is Three Lovely Lasses by Delia Murphy, and I'll tell you about her. As I say, this is something a bit different, but just found in our collection.
There are three lovely lassies in Banyan, 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 Banyan. There are three lovely lassies in Banyan, and I am the best of them all, and I am the best of them all. For me father has 40 white shillings, 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 shillings. Me father has 40 white shillings, and the grass of a goat and a cow, and the grass of a goat and a cow. And me mother, she says I can marry, 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 marry. Me mother, she says I can marry, and she'll leave me her bed when she dies, and she'll leave me her bed when she dies. So I'm sending me shoes to be mended, 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 mended. I'm sending me shoes to be mended, and me petticoat to be dyed green, and me petticoat to be dyed green. And on next Sunday morning I'll meet him, meet him, meet him, meet him. On next Sunday morning I'll meet him, and I shall be dressed like a queen, and I shall be dressed like a queen. And I shall be dressed like a queen.
I like that. That was Delia Murphy and Three Lovely Lasses. Now, Delia Murphy was a collector and singer of Irish ballads. She produced quite a lot of 78s between the 1930s and the 1950s. She came actually from a wealthy background. Her father had made a fortune in the Klondike Gold Rush and then had come back to Southern Ireland. And you know, the Living Memory Association, who Thelma FM is their radio station, we love to look at people's lives and experiences. That's what we do here, talking to people about what they've got up to in their lives. And it's really interesting to read about some of these people, because Delia Murphy married an Irish ambassador who was sent to the Vatican during the Second World War, and she there helped a Vatican priest, Monsignor Hugh Flaherty, to save, they estimate, around about 6,500 Jews and Allied soldiers while she was there in Italy, which is pretty amazing. Now, again, a change of pace, and we're 1940s here, early 40s. We've got, again, this is a good title, isn't it? This is on the Music Craft label, Gotta Be This or That, and this is Joe Masala Septet, but it has Adele Girard on the harp, and she was the first person, the first woman, obviously, to take a concert harp and put it to jazz, which is quite phenomenal. They got married, Joe and Adele, in 1937. Now, two fans of Adele's harp playing were Ian Fleming, the author of James Bond, and, no surprise, Harpo Marx. There we go. And he wanted her to teach him how to refine his harp playing. But let's have a listen.
Gotta be this or that. If it ain't full, it's blank. If you don't spend your bank. If it ain't Bing, it's Frank. Gotta be this or that. Who can it be if it ain't me? I know it's not your brother. Can't you see it's gotta be one way or the other? Tell me what I must know. If you don't like, I'll go. If it ain't yes, it's no. Gotta be this or that.
Got a bit of harp there at the end, didn't we? There, I like that. It's got to be this or that. I love the line. It's got to be Bing or it's got to be Frank. It's got to be this. It's got to be that. That's extremely good. Next up, we have Eddie Calvert, who was billed and is on this label billed as the man with the golden trumpet. Now, one of his famous hits was Mine Papa. On the other side is this, which I kind of like. It's Mystery Street. We're going to go straight from that to Jack Scott, and it's going to be the other side of his big hit, which was Leroy. We're going to have My True Love, so that's going to be two in a row, but that's listen to Eddie Calvert.
I pray to the Lord to send me a love. He sent me an angel from heaven above. The stars in the sky He placed in her eyes. She is my true love. The touch, my true love, of her hand, my true love, captured my true love, my soul, my true love, and the kiss, my true love, from her lips, my true love, set my true love aglow, my true love, and I know my true love from heaven, my true love, from hell, my true love, above, my true love, came my true love. Darling, I love you. I'll always be true. My prayers, they were answered, and the Lord sent me you with love and devotion that I knew until the Lord above sent me you. And I thank my true love, the heaven, my true love, the heaven, my true love, above, my true love, for sending my true love, my true love.
You heard Eddie Calvert first, and that was Jack Scott with My True Love. Jack Scott was the most successful rock and roll singer that Canada has so far produced. That's not just say that's definite, but so far. Right, we step back a little further. This is the Clevelanders. I think we've played the other side of this at some point, and this is on the Imperial record label. Oh, that's very much the vocals of the time, isn't it? 1930s. The Clevelanders were actually a band put together by Harry Reeser, who was 1896 to 1965, and reckoned to be the finest banjoist of, if that's a word, banjoist? Well, banjo player of the 1920s. He was a child musical genius with perfect pitch and played the piano, violin and cello. And, interestingly, was a first cousin to the Wright Brothers, who did the first powered flight. Now, we've got a bit of jazz big band coming up next, and this is Indiana Winter. And a whole lot of musicians on here. 1949. This is the Esquire All American Award winners. So this was an annual award, I would imagine. And this must have been the big band or jazz section. But let's have a listen about actually how good they were. Well, I guess the answer is they're pretty good. No wonder they're award winners. I'm going to take this as an HMV record. I'm going to try... The light's not great in here. Yes, so that is 1949. It's the Esquire All American Award winners, and it's featuring C. Shavers on trumpet, J.J. Johnson trombone, C. Hawkins Coleman, of course, on tenor sax, Bill Clayton trumpet, H. Carney baritone sax, T. Wilson piano, J. Collins guitar, and I like this name, Shadow Wilson drums, and Chubby Jackson bass. I like that. I'll be playing that one again, I think. Next up is one that we have played before, and in fact I think it was only a couple of episodes ago. But I do like, this is Hal McIntyre, I should say, Hal McIntyre with South Bayou Shuffle, and this is a bit of a trippy one. Lush and a bit dreamy, wasn't it? That was Hal McIntyre and South Bayou Blues, which was recorded in New York on February the 13th in 1942. You are listening to Thelma FM. This is Forgotten Songs from the Broom Cupboard, show 22, and you are probably listening to this on a Saturday or Sunday. If it's 4 p.m. is when it gets repeated. Now, all these records, as I say, I'm playing you directly from the 78s. There's no digital downloads here. I'm going to be playing now a sequence. We're sticking with that big band, but we're going to have some vocalists. So this is the Harry James and his orchestra with somebody we've played quite a few times as a solo artist, Kitty Kallen.
I never cared much for moonlit skies. I never winked back at fireflies. But now that the stars are in your eyes, I'm beginning to see the light. I never went in for afterglow or candlelight on the mistletoe. But now when you turn the lamp down low, I'm beginning to see the light. Used to ramble through the park, shadow boxing in the dark. Then you came and caused the spark that's a forlorn fire now. I never made love by lantern shine. I never saw rainbows in my wine. But now that your lips are burning mine, I'm beginning to see the light.
Two Harry James there, back to back with two different vocalists. First of all, you heard Kitty Kallen with a big hit, I'm Beginning to See the Light. And secondly, there it was Helen Forest, and they're ironically titled, I think, A Cry for You, because actually Helen Forest, who sang for three of the biggest bands at the time, I think it's Artie Shaw, Benny Goodman and Harry James. She actually had an affair with Harry James just shortly before he met and married Betty Grable. So those two singers, Kitty Cullen had a very long, successful career. Helen Forest, if you want to look her up on Google, a bit more of well, not a tragic, but a bit more of a difficult life. We're moving on to something completely different in terms of singers with bands anyway. This is Anita O'Day, who was the wonderful, this, isn't it? She completely blew apart the traditional image of the girl singer. She was a hip jazz musician as far as she was concerned. She was known, or self-billed certainly, as the Jezebel of jazz. She was active from 1934 to 2006, and very cool singer. She was arrested twice for possession of marijuana. She had a long-term heroin addict, but she still managed to live to the age of 87. We are going to possibly hear two, but we're certainly going to hear, first of all, No Soap, No Hope Blues. What a title. You've been listening to Forgotten Songs from the Broom Cupboard from Thelma FM. Please come and listen to us again. We have some excellent shows going out on the radio station. We have lots and lots of reminiscence, which is what we're all about. If you want to check up on what we do, go to our Facebook page, Living Memory Association, or this station, Thelma FM, or our website, www.livingmemory.org.uk. I will leave you with the fabulous Anita O'Day.
I've got a mouse trap, no mouse. I've got a household, no house. I've got the no soap, no hope, no mouse, no house blue. I've got a floor mat, but I ain't got no floor. I've got a doorknob, but I ain't got no door. I've got a teapot, no tea. I've got a keyhole and no key. I've got the no floor, no door, no tea, no key blue. Oh, I've got a right to cry, and do I cry? Why, yes, indeed. 'Cause I haven't got a lot, and what I've got I sure don't need. I've got a soap dish, but I ain't got no soap. I've got a hope just, but I ain't got no hope. I've got a mouse trap, no mouse. I've got a household, no house. I've got the no stove, no hope, no mouse, no house blue. Got the blues. Oh, I've got a right to cry, and do I cry? Why, yes, indeed. 'Cause I haven't got a lot, and what I've got I sure don't need. I've got a soap dish, but I ain't got no soap. I've got a hope dish, but I ain't got no hope. I've got a mouse trap, no mouse. I've got a household, no house. I've got the no soap, no hope, no mouse.